Yeah, I think
Oh,
so.
so it's
because
not completely
delayed.
live? It's like delayed?
It's delayed a little bit.
Got you. There's 3 people watching us.
Hey, 3 people!
Hey!
Yay!
Oh, 3! That's
guys.
3 more people than
Love
I've ever
you.
known in my life.
Hit the donate button. We'll work for food. Yay!
Oh, yeah. Money.
Yay!
Free food. Free education.
Not free, but free me from my hunger. All right, welcome. 1, 2, 3 of you guys. If you make that big screen.
All right.
Welcome welcome to my brother Fatu here. We're here to discuss some things. And let me introduce you to my brother.
What's up, Bo Flagar? He just said, what's up? My name's Fatu, what up? All you 3 people, you 6 eyeballs watching us. We're going to talk about something weird. Sam's dialed up something special. Hopefully.
Yeah, today we are going to talk about the word inspiration. Inspiration is a tricky word. Let's see. What does inspiration mean? Well, the definition here, you can turn it down a little bit.
Yeah.
The definition of inspiration: an inspiring agent or influence to the quality or state of being inspired, something that is inspired, a scheme that was pure inspiration, the act of drawing in, specifically the drawing of air into the lungs. That's inspiration? I didn't know that. I thought that was respiration.
No, nothing's more inspiring than air going to your lungs and keeping you alive.
Yes, we gotta keep that COVID out of our lungs. But what about respiration? That's what I want to know.
That's the real inspiration of
Okay.
the Samoan nation.
Oh, the guy's rapping. Anyways, and it says a divine influence or action on a person believed to qualify him or her to receive and communicate sacred revelation. Oh, yeah. The action or power of moving the intellect or emotions, the act of influencing or suggesting opinions. Oh, okay, so that is the definition of inspiration. We're gonna go back to the 2-shot. Fatu,
Yo.
do you have a story you can share with the people about being called an inspiration?
Oh, yes, I totally do.
Alright.
Let me tell you a story. There was this one time I was at Park City Ski Resort. By the way, this is where all the homies roll. We were on this lift, me and my friend Ben. Ben, he's paralyzed from the nipples down, so he can move his hands, rides on a sit ski, and there was 4 of us on the lift, and right when we got to the end of the lift, we slid off the lift, and I was snowboarding, he was skiing, and we looked across the way, and this old lady was looking at us, and she just began to clap. And everything went in slow motion, and I was like, why is this lady clapping? And she was just like, you're an inspiration. And I was like, what did I do? I just got off the lift. Does that fit?
That is good. That is very good. Thank you very much. Bo Flagair. It's been a long time, my friend. Samoa, yes. Samoa. The Samoan way. Anyways, I enjoyed that story. The lady, she said you were an inspiration. No, she didn't say you were an inspiration. She
gave me a clap.
She said it by clapping to you. She was like, clap, clap, clap. Good job. You're out here snowboarding. And how did you guys receive that? What way did you receive that?
So we received it humor. Ben, like I said, he's on a sit ski. He looked at the lady and he's like, "Look at that lady clapping at us." And I was like, "Yeah, she probably thinks we're an inspiration." And he's like, "We didn't really do anything." So we started laughing and we're like, "Let's inspire everyone on this mountain," because we felt like she was what it is a lot of times people will patronize you because you're disabled. They're like, "You're an inspiration," even though you haven't really done crap. So me and Ben, we decided to flip the script. We went down the mountain and we inspired people by spraying them with snow. And the coolest thing, or interestingest thing, this was also a spin on people thinking we were an inspiration, is we were spraying them with snow, and they were okay with it because we were disabled. So we spun it, right? That was kind of manipulative, but we were okay with it because we kind of felt like when people look at us and they call us inspiring, even though all that we're doing is doing the same thing everyone else is doing, it kind of demeaned the word. It made the word mean less. So hopefully that's a good explanation.
Yeah. Bo, tell us what you're doing now. Write down what you're working at. Keep listening to us. I'm glad you're commenting.
Project
What's up, Jason? Koger. Gotta shoot them. Pop, pop.
Pop,
Shoot
pop.
them
Bang, bang.
groundhogs. Groundhog breakfast.
Bang, bang.
Bang, bang, boom, boom.
49er gang.
Oh, yeah. Bang, bang, Niner gang. Anyways, so sometimes people are using inspiration and the word, and they're telling you you're an inspiration, and it's like, I don't know if I'm an inspiration. I just walked out the door, and that's when it feels a little bit patronizing. Like, oh wow, this guy just barely walked out the door. But then there's this other side. It's kind of tricky because, like, when I used to snowboard, I would race, and I would be racing against a lot of fast people, but most of them had leg amputations. I was racing against the arm amputations, and the leg amputation people, they were like, "Oh man, this snowboarding thing is so hard," and then they look at me, and it must be so easy for you. And I'm like, dude, did you wake up and dress me? Because I gotta get dressed, and I got no hands, so if I got no hands, it makes it harder for me. The hard part for me, you didn't even see that. But I felt like people don't understand that part. But then when people call me an inspiration just for walking out the door, sometimes I say, I am an inspiration. It was pretty tough to get ready today.
Yeah. Along that topic, Sharon Bennett, you just said, "My husband has one hand, but when I say he inspires me, it's a great thing." And that is true. What Sam is saying is actually talking on that subject. There are two different kinds of inspirations for sure. Sometimes for people who do not know, like strangers that walk up to you and they just say, "Hey, you're an inspiration." And I have no reason to be an inspiration except that I'm just a disabled person. That's when usually the inspiration kind of can change in meaning depending on how the person interprets it. Typically, because I've been disabled for so long, I like to just take it and spin it sometimes, and other times I just like, "Oh, awesome, I'm inspiring. You're inspiring to me too, because we're both standing up on 2 feet and stuff."
Yeah. Very, very true. If you know the person and you know their struggles, that's the difference. If you don't know the person and you walk up to them and they're in a wheelchair and they just say, "You're inspiring," that's the tough part. But since you know your husband, you know all the struggles he goes through, you see it firsthand, then the word inspiration can be used and it actually has its full meaning. We're going to go over a word today, and this is off of Urban Dictionary, but it actually applies. It's called inspiration porn. Has any of you seen inspiration porn? No, not pornography with inspiration. No. It's
inspiration porn
is different than that. Inspiration porn is a portrayal of people with disabilities as one-dimensional things that only exist to warm the hearts and open the minds of able-bodied people. John's presentation, highlighting Susie's courage to go to school every day, despite using a wheelchair, was nothing but inspiration porn. Susie's real qualities are her intellect and quick wit. Alright, coming back. Inspiration porn.
Yeah. So yeah, a lot of times people will use a person as a symbol, and that's exactly what inspiration porn is. For disabled people, a lot of times people will use it because they'll see that we're disabled, so they'll use that as a symbol of something like courage, and they'll apply it so that they can feel good about themselves. For instance, if I'm trying to tie my shoe with one hand, someone's like, "You're an inspiration," because you're tying your shoe. That's what it sounds like to me, because I'm just trying to tie my dang shoe. But for many people who are disabled, we're like, man, I can appreciate that you think that's an inspiration, but it's really like a suffer fest. And if you actually show that you care about the suffering, I would rather have you come up and say, "Hey, bro, it looks super hard trying to tie your shoe with one hand. You want some help, bro?" So a lot of times I might say yes. Sometimes I might say no. But for me, that's when you become inspiring to me, because you actually stopped and showed some kind of care for me, rather than just using a word like, "You're an inspiration," because that's a blanket coverage statement. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I agree. And I think there's some more to it. I believe that if you want to tell that person they're inspiring you, first of all, at least ask them their name. It's kind of like the old joke. They always say, "At least take me out for dinner before you do that," you know, or something like that. At least ask their name, get to know them, then fully see the full picture. Because when you just walk up to someone with a disability, a person with a disability, and you say, "You're an inspiration," you didn't see them do anything, then oftentimes it's a little bit patronizing. The other thing is, Fatu touched on it a little bit, is asking if they need help. Sometimes people want to do things for me a lot when they see me struggle, and I actually like it. I wish everyone would do everything for me, but I know that's not the real world, so I understand that. But a lot of people, they are offended when you try to do something for them. So be careful when you're asking them. I often, the best way I've heard it explained, or the way I'd like to be asked if I need help, is if you want to ask me if I need help, you say, "I know you can do that, but I'm seeing, and I want to ask you if I can help you." That way, you're giving them the power. The empowerment belongs to them. A lot of it's about empowerment. What do you have people asking you if you need help?
Dude, I would love it if people asked me for to help me. Unfortunately, I'm married, so my wife, she doesn't offer to help me at all. So that's the struggle of being married. But however, that's a good thing, because I have learned to do a lot of things by myself without my wife. Anyways, yeah, it's awesome when people ask to help you. For a lot of us disabled people, we are always going through something. But what Sam said, like he said, "I know that you can do this. However, would you like some help?" is a great way to approach it, because you're giving the power of the question to the person that's dealing with the struggle. And that's the thing with calling somebody an inspiration, is when you're discrediting the struggle, then it becomes patronizing. And when you actually apply yourself to the person that you're talking to, offering help or not, but giving the power to the person that's dealing with it, that's when inspiration becomes powerful.
It's funny, Sharon, when people say, "Can I lend you a hand?" In my head, it plays in my head. I'm like, you can lend me a couple hands, but I'm not gonna give them back. No, just kidding.
Yeah, so I got a story about that. This one time we went on this trip, me and Sam, we were on this river raft. We were floating down this muddy river, and Sam had been amputated for maybe a year and a half, and there was this just muscly raft man just holding these boat oars and just pushing us down this river, and Sam was staring at his hands like he was staring at a hamburger, and the guy's like, "Hey, what's up? How are you doing?" And he's like, "I just wish I had those hands." And the guy was like, "Oh." Anyways, that was kind of, I don't know if that's patronizing or not.
So the thing is it felt like the scene from Neverending Story where the rock man goes, these hands, but I was looking at his hands and going, those hands. And it's kind of inspiration porn. No, I'm just kidding. The other place where inspiration porn can sometimes be offensive or not be good is on the internet. Oh, and by the way, hi Kristen Quinn. It's good to see you again for the second time today. Thank you for tuning in.
You are my inspiration.
I'm gonna start singing a song here.
Oh yeah.
But often people post things online with pictures of people with disabilities. And they say something like, never say never, or never give up, or something like that. And it shows a picture of for example, this picture of this person with the canes. I like what these 4 questions are asking. What message does this post send? Is this post a disabled person doing an everyday activity? Would you share this if the person were not disabled? That's a good question to ask. Like, would you share this if the person were not disabled? Same question you can ask if you see a person in the public, out in public, that has a disability. You look at them and you're saying, you're an inspiration. Well, what about the other person that's standing right there next to him doing the same thing, going shopping? Is he an inspiration? That's the question you should ask yourself before you say that. And then go talk to them, ask them their name, ask them how is life. And then you can say, well, you can make a judgment call, a better judgment call. Because what you're doing is making a judgment call. Does the post make you feel pity for the disabled person? I think pity is the word.
Yeah, pity's a good word. It definitely is not inspirational if you're the person that's supposed to be the inspiration when somebody is pitying you with the word inspiration. So if I'm carrying... So let's change this to, I'm talking to somebody that's not disabled. I'm at Walmart. This guy has 2 arms and he's carrying 5,000 bags of Walmart food, and I walk up to him and I'm like, "Yo, you're an inspiration." And he looks at me like, "Huh? I'm just carrying Walmart food to my car," right? It makes it look almost patronizing for me as a person to look at this person that's struggling with the Walmart bags, because he doesn't know what I'm using as an inspiration. So it makes you question why a person would say that. However, when you're disabled, it's obvious why somebody says that. I don't have an arm, so that's inspiring to you. That doesn't make very much sense. I hope that makes sense. Hopefully.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that the thing is many of the people with disabilities can feel the meaning behind the words. They have a sense of feeling, and sometimes I'm wrong, but we can tell if you're looking at us with pity or looking at us with admiration. And if you're saying you're an inspiration, and we feel like you're saying you're an inspiration because if I were you, I would be at home in my couch laying down and sleeping all day and being depressed and never show my face out in public. And that's kind of a diss. That's kind of messed up. So that's the key thing to keep in mind when you're saying you're an inspiration. And the other thing is when you're posting things that are, you don't even know the people, they just have legs. I should have put that graphic of that Oscar Pistorius, right?
Oh, yeah. So the premise of the meme was there was Oscar Pistorius who has no legs, and then there was a daughter, a little girl that had no legs, and it said something like, what's your motivation, or something like that. The problem with that is a lot of people know who Pistorius is, so he killed somebody, and then you got this little girl who's the real symbol of innocence and pure. I would say, because she is inspiring. As a little child, you don't know what inspiring is. You're just doing what you're doing to stay alive, and a lot of times that's inspiring. However, it's a spin on what inspiration is because Pistorius is on there, and he is a great story, except the fact that he hurt his wife and stuff like that. So I don't know. Memes are hard.
Yeah, I think that the important part of that meme is we're saying that he's an inspiration. And if we didn't know what Oscar Pistorius did later on, where he killed his wife, would we say he's an inspiration? We don't really know the guy before, and we see the meme, and then it's like, he's an inspiration. Yeah, but did you know he killed his wife? And so it's a little tricky. The word inspiration is a little tricky. But I think the guidelines are, would you say that to someone else that was just doing the same thing? Like, when I play basketball, I feel like it's inspiration because I don't know anyone else that, it's hard. It's a hard one. It's a hard definition to apply. But anyways, this is my first live podcast or whatever. I don't know what you call this. Live show. And I want to thank those that watched and those that tuned in. And then also those that are going to watch. And next time, I'll have a donation button so you can feed me because I'm hungry. Give me some money.
Oh, yeah. Nothing's better than food. Oh, yeah. And just so you know, we're not banging on people that are calling people inspirations. Like, there are people that inspire people every day. What I'm more concerned about is when you're using it offensively. It's great to be called an inspiration. It's an honor. We really appreciate it. But there are a lot of people who, when you say that in a patronizing way, it's not cool. But just remember to talk to those people that you're calling an inspiration more than just, hey, you're an inspiration. See you later. Nice life. Sucks to be you, brah.
Yeah. I think that's the main point of it is if you're saying they're an inspiration for doing something that you think you wouldn't, you don't know that you would or wouldn't do it. So thank you for tuning in. Any constructive criticism is accepted or whatever. But thanks for watching, and hope you guys have a great day.